A sad way to start a newscast. 2 people are dead after fire ripped through their home in Clarksville. The blaze started this morning on Mills Drive. Firefighters got the call around 7:20. Right now, no names have been released and investigators have not said what started the fire. This is the second deadly fire in Montgomery County in just 5 days. 3 people died in a house fire there just last Friday. An autopsy will determine if the freezing weather played a role in a man's death in North Nashville. A body was found out in the freezing cold on this porch on D.B. Todd Boulevard just a few hours ago around sunrise. Police have been on the scene for several hours gathering evidence. An autopsy will be conducted later this week. Hundreds of people who would normally be out in the elements with no way to keep warm took advantage of emergency shelters overnight in Nashville. The city opened an overflow shelter at the East Park Community Center from 6 last night until 8 this morning. We spoke with one homeless woman who normally stays at an outdoor camp every night. She heard about the shelter from a friend and didn't think twice about going in for help.
Very cold. You hurt a lot. You know, I've seen people where they've sat out on benches and froze, literally froze.
The city opens these overflow shelters any night the mercury dips below 25 degrees. For more details on all locations, visit coldweathernashville.com. Here's more on how the frigid temperatures have an entire nation in a deep freeze.
A bone-chilling freeze has started to turn parts of Niagara Falls to ice. Ice also formed on Lake Superior in Duluth, Minnesota, where the wind chill dipped to 36 degrees below zero. The below normal temperatures are affecting the country coast to coast. In Washington state, an ice storm knocked out power lines. Even the Deep South is in the grips of the bitter cold. In Texarkana, Arkansas, this fountain froze from top to bottom. And in North Carolina, 3 duck hunters had to be rescued after icy water refroze around their boat.
I think onset of hypothermia set in, and so they went ahead and called for emergency crews.
The bitter cold also hindered firefighters here in the Bronx, New York, as they battled a massive fire that started inside a furniture store.
You see the water that'll freeze there on the ground and all around the building.
More than 20 people were hurt. It was a similar scene in Nahant, Massachusetts, where firefighters covered in ice battled a house fire.
The water freezes on our equipment, on our air packs, on our masks.
They rotated shifts, thawing out in a mobile unit to keep warm. The bitter cold is expected to continue for at least several more days. Kenneth Craig, CBS News, the Bronx, New York.
A sad update now on a story we've been following for you. Davidson County Sheriff Darren Hall says one of their own has died after a terrible car accident. Officer Joseph Gilmore was critically hurt in a crash while driving back to Nashville from Illinois after visiting family for the holidays. He passed away this morning. Gilmore had only been with the department for just under a year. Our thoughts and prayers are with his family and colleagues at the Sheriff's Department.